Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and I have done a video or two maybe on doing string art like embroidery with thread and cardstock. That's pretty popular. You can buy a lot of dies that'll help you do that. Boy, I can't think of the posh something. I'll have to look that up and I'll list it in the comments below. But lately I have been watching, let me double check so I don't say the wrong name, Craft with Sarah. She's doing a 12-day blitz, oops, sorry about that, I say blitz, campaign, whatever you want to call it, where for 12 days in a row she is giving you a free file as well as then the video tutorial. Now the free file is only available for 24 hours, so we're already on day 8, I think. But the videos are still available, and I will definitely link her channel below. She does sell her files, so if you're interested, then you can check her out. But I've made you some free files, free shapes. I didn't use hers. I was inspired by hers on some of these other shapes, but the circular ones were, I like them because they remind me of this old-time Spirograph. I know most of you guys remember those, whether you had one or your kids had one or whatever. I just think it's fabulous. I think she calls it string art, which I remember that too. But I just found them to be really fun. So obviously I started with standard circular shapes, and I created my shape initially, which would be just one strip here, and then I just used my mandala effect to recreate it and rotate it, duplicate, rotate, and that gives you however many points you want. You can do it to whatever degree you want, whether you're doing 10 degrees, 12 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, and that's up to you. I think even 22.5 work, if I remember correctly, or maybe it's 24.5. No, I don't know. I'd have to do some more math on that. But I just thought they were so cute. Now the first couple I did, I just used 65-pound cardstock, and the first couple I did, I glued 2 layers together, but I realized I don't really need to do that. If you don't pull your thread too tight, just plain one layer of 65-pound will work, and that's what most of these are. But anyway, I just think this is so cute. And then you could decorate the center here, or you could put a nice sentiment strip across there, or a butterfly or a bee or whatever. But you just tape your string on the back, and when you begin and when you end. And there's a couple of things you need to know. Obviously, the bigger it is and the more points you have, the more thread you're going to use. The bigger it is, the easier it is to use the full 6 strands of embroidery floss. I've got DMC embroidery floss. But the smaller they get, you might want to start using, I was using 3 strands, and that seemed to work pretty good. But you could probably even use 2, and then you could get 3 pieces out of each 6 string or 6 strands length. But anyway, I just thought these were so cute. And then I started layering them up, and I thought, oh, well, that's cute too. So you take one, and then you add another layer to the center and maybe a different color, or maybe you're using different colored cardstocks, and you just keep layering. And I thought that was really cute too. I think you can kind of see, you do get a little bit of height on it because of all the thread behind there. But that's okay. We oftentimes prop things up on our cards anyway. So I just thought that was super cute. Today, when I cut some different ones out, and I made them smaller just because I wanted to see how small I could get them, I also inked them. So sometimes I inked the center, sometimes I inked the outside, sometimes I did both and then left a strip. I mean, you can do it however you want. But I just think they're really, really cute. You could put a gem in the center. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with these. I'll show you one, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want this video to be too long, but you can see I've been playing with it. This is another one where I've got 2 layers, but you really don't need to do that. So these were the first 2 that I did. And again, there's not as many valleys, which is where the string goes, is in the valley on this one as there is on this one, which is why this one looks fuller. And well, I'll show you. We'll just get into it. I've got one here. I'm just going to slide all the rest of this over here. She's also done some interesting shapes. I cut out a rectangle and a square. I don't know if I'll do those, but I'll kind of play with it a little bit and show you. Now this one's super little. What does it measure? It measures about an inch, and I use 6 strands. I'm going to undo it and take that down to 3 because, or maybe even 2, because it's a little bitty flower and it's just got a lot of thread on it. So to do this, I was going to say I have some thread here somewhere. I'm going to start with yellow because that's what I've got out. And you're going to find a place that's just, one of the valleys to kind of load your thread in, and you're going to want to tape it on the back. Now you don't need to leave a lot of room for this. It just kind of depends on how much thread you want to use, I guess. So just tape it down. You could put a little knot in it to keep it from slipping, but I haven't had a problem. All right, so I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit. The wrong way. Okay, let's do this, and I'll do my best to keep it in the camera. That might be a little too far. All right, so if you go straight down from, uppermost valley to the straight below valley, and then you start wrapping, you're going to have all of these strings bunching up in the center. That's just the way it's going to work. So they're all going to cross at that center point. If that's the look you want, that's great. If you want to leave a space in the center, you'll do something a little different. And the size of the space is going to depend on how far apart you separate them. So here's center right here. No, here's center. If I go here, I'm going to have a smaller hole. If I go over here to start, I'm going to have a bigger hole in the center. So whatever look you're looking for, that's what you'll do. So because I got smaller ones and I can layer it, I'm going to go over here. So you can start anywhere really, and you're just going to wrap right next to this one and then right next to this one, and you're just going to keep crossing over. Now we'll have to get some more string because I know I don't have enough. And eventually you're going to start crossing back over valleys that you've already got a string in, like this. That's okay. Eventually they will all do that. We just keep, I missed one. We just keep going around. And she does a really good video on this. Okay, so see, I've run out of string. The longer string that you cut, or strip of string, I don't really know what you're going to call it. I'm not going to use that big piece. That's way too much tape. The more likely it is to tangle on you. So keep that in mind. I'm going to save that extra tape over there because I'm going to need it. So I'm just going to tape this down. And I'm going to grab some more. So I'm going to pull out some of this. This was when I sat down today, this was a full skein of yarn or thread. I'm just going to cut that right there. And then I'm going to divide this in half. Let's see. Sometimes, I think that's it. I got 3 there. And I've got 3 there. So there's different ways you can do this. Different people have different techniques. I just kind of like to take my time with it because it will kind of knot up on you if you're not careful. So I try to let it unwind as I'm pulling them apart. I got a little fast there, and so it wanted to curl up on itself. And sometimes you can just pull it like that and it'll help pull that curl out. Okay. So this is where we finish, so we're going to go over in this direction. So I need another piece of this really long strip that I cut. And you can pull it closer out to the edge, so it's going to go there. Alright, so okay, this is what I want to do. So I want to go here, here. Now you can, if you get confused or you get lost like I just did, you can mark on the back of it if that's easier for you, so you know where you started and stopped. I just think these are so cute. I'm gonna, I don't know, I want to make something, maybe a wall art or something. Now, if you have an Access subscription, you can easily find files in their database that will give you this look. I'm going to have to, oh, it's just going to make it, just barely. They have lots of stuff, but if you don't have an Access subscription, I didn't need to do that. I'm going to lay that back over there. If you don't have an Access subscription, that's one of the reasons I share my files, because I make them with free shapes and anybody can use them, subscription or no subscription. You can also, if you have like Creative Fabrica, I didn't get any of these from there, but they do have SVGs on there, or even PNGs that you can pull into Designspace and create your oh, I knew I had another piece, and create these same type of flowers. So yeah, I think one of the other flowers, not this one that I'm working on, but one of the more pointy ones, if you did a yellow base, maybe a little bit of shading out toward the tips but not on the tips, and then used a dark brown thread and then went closer together so you had a small dot in the center. No, because that would skip the center. Never mind, ignore me. I have done some other stuff where you can put a hole in the center and work that too, but that's not what we're doing here. Alright, ignore all that. Crazy lady. Okay, that's not what I want. Where am I at? Oh, too much talking, not enough paying attention. Okay. Those all go that way because I was going this way. That goes that way. Okay. That goes that way already. So I don't know what I did, but I ran out of string and I was almost done too. So if that happens to you, I'm not going to use this big long piece because I don't think I need it. Maybe this little scrap will be long enough. I think I definitely need to cross over here and there. I'm thinking I must have skipped something somewhere, because that should go this way, but these all have two in them. Crisscross applesauce. So it's right until maybe I need to do it this way. Nope, that won't work. Well, I might have to untape this one, but you see how I did it. I did lose track of where I was going because I was busy talking, but there should be one that crosses that way, and it should go, no, I'll play with that one later. But I wanted to show you also what you can do is with these other shapes. Now I also made a triangle, but honestly I'm not sure how I would use it, so this one is the rectangle. Let me zoom back out a little. Well, I'll use my other hand. I am not left-handed. Okay, so this one I just kind of started, I don't have this one taped down, but I just kind of started wrapping over here on this corner and then went around and around and around and then got here and just came around and around and around. And then I would tape that off and maybe do the same thing at the bottom. So that's one possible look for the rectangle, and you could do the same thing with the square. But I think there's other things we can do with it. So let's just kind of play with it, because she did not actually show us how she did hers. So maybe if I go here and here and here and here, here and here. No, I don't like that. What if I'm just kind of holding this on the back right now until I figure out how I want to do it. So maybe we want to go like this, this, and this. Trying not to pull too tight and still hold everything in place. So that gives you an interesting look. I mean, you could keep doing it if you had more thread. Let's try something else. Anyway, just play with it and have fun. And you can resize these to make them smaller if you like, or even larger. Let's go. I'm not really sure. Let's try this. Nope, I don't want to do it that way. Yeah, so that's kind of the same thing, just crisscross instead of up and down. So that's not really what I want either. She kind of made hers look like it came out from the corner, but I think she just showed us a sample. I'm trying to remember, it was several days ago. I have been watching. Okay, now you might want to tune me out here if you don't need a new guilty pleasure, but I have been watching YouTube videos of Sergeant Curtis, and I'm going to link him below, because the first video I saw, and I'm guessing I saw it because I live in Arkansas, but he features a lot of Arkansas state troopers, and he's a retired police sergeant, I believe, because that's Sergeant Curtis, so that makes sense, from Las Vegas, I believe he said. Anyway, he does a really good job of breaking down what's happening, why the police are doing what they're doing, maybe some things that they should be doing differently for their own protection in particular. But it's very interesting, and it's my new guilty pleasure. I've spent hours binge watching some of his videos, and he's just got a very pleasant manner about himself anyway. So I'll link it below if you're looking for a new guilty pleasure and you like good guy, bad guy, cop stuff. I think you'll enjoy them. They're actually pretty interesting. But I just finished watching one, and actually I haven't finished it yet. They haven't gotten her to jail yet, but I wanted to record this video so bad. That's here in my county, in Arkansas, in Baxter County, and that's probably too much information to give you folks out there on the internet, but listen, I'm not hiding from anybody, so, you know, if you can find me, more power to you. But yeah, it's a lady, and that's the video I'll link of his, but then you can find his channel from there. But yeah, I was like, oh my god, I live in Baxter County. So I have to keep an eye out for this lady. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but that's what I've been busy doing, so that's why I haven't made a video in a while, because I've been watching Sergeant Curtis. I'm just playing with this. I don't really know what to do. Alright, now I was using this as my backdrop for inking the others. It's kind of a mess, so I'm just going to flip it over. I do know that if you go like top to bottom, it will kind of, and again, this is a big piece, so the bigger they are, I would say the stiffer the cardstock you want to use, just so you're not fighting with it the way I am right now. Anyway, this could be kind of fun. Now I've got a short piece of string here, but you get the idea. It would just kind of crisscross, and then you'd have a big bulk of string here in the center. But you know, play with it if you're interested. Have fun with it, and if you guys do anything really exciting with these odd shapes, let me know, because I'd love to see it, because I couldn't imagine really what I would do with these. I like the rounds because to me they kind of look like flowers, and even if you don't make them look like flowers, they just look like little spirograph things, so they could just be cute on a fun card. Where'd that, here, I'm going to undo this one really quick. I said I didn't want a long video, and here I go, just talking. But I gotta split this thread up because this is just too thick. I could probably do 2 strands on this because this is a really tiny flower. But for the sake of ease, I'll probably do 3, and that way I'll have 3 left. Although if I did 2, then I could cut 2 more flowers. Alright, this is going to be a little complicated because I got tape on there, but let's see. I'm going to stick that down. Well, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm doing? I'm just going to cut that off because it's, I'm afraid it's going to get in my way. Alright, so let's separate these guys. And I just kind of loosely pull them apart until I've got 3 on either side. But you do whatever method works best for you. Oh, I did say I was going to try 2, didn't I? Okay. Maybe I'll cut some out of yellow and use the purple thread. I love yellow and purple floral combinations. Okay, so see, my thread's really knotted up there. I'm not even sure. Oh, it's because I'm 2 and 4, so that's part of my problem. I confused myself, so I'm just going to kind of straighten this out a little bit. And try and pull. Yep, I'm going to be off screen for this because I've got it pretty knotted up. 3 does seem to work better. You don't have to do 3, but it does seem to want to divide more evenly that way. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something else while I'm doing this. There's a video out there, and I can't remember the young man's name. Father to 2 girls. It's been all over my Facebook feed today, and I actually heard about it yesterday. He's on a road trip from Florida to Oklahoma. He gets his daughters for 45 days in the summer. And he stopped on the road trip. As you can imagine, the girls needed to use the restroom, so he took them into the women's room. And he was accosted while he was helping them wash their hands by a man who didn't think that he should be in the women's room, who this man then went on to call the police and everything. Now, obviously, most of us women understand that we don't want our daughters in the men's room for various reasons. And I know I had a little piece of tape here. But this guy just caused so much trouble. Anyway, it's all over. I'd like to know your thoughts on it. And maybe I shouldn't be asking because it's kind of a controversial thing apparently, but I don't know why. Women have been taking care of their children in this manner for a very long time. I think it's great that a father's stepping up and doing what he needs to do while protecting his kids. And anyway, I don't know. It just really bothered me because I watched enough of the video to see the little girl break down and start crying because she was so scared and terrified because this man was just creating such a scene. It broke my heart, and it made me, honestly, cover your ears if you're sensitive. It made me want to go kick some butt. Okay? Totally uncalled for. Okay, so let's get back to crafting now. Alright, so again, you don't want to go straight down the middle unless you want everything to cross over in the center. Let's see, if I go really wide, it'll have a big hole. I don't want to go that wide. I think I'll go right about there. And you just keep going around, and hopefully I've got enough thread. Oops, you don't want to skip one either. Trying to keep it in frame. My cat's crying. It's time for her dinner, and hubby's ignoring her because he doesn't work on her timetable, although he does more than I do, because he spoils her rotten. Girl likes to eat smoked Gouda from the deli. That stuff's not cheap. She likes some mesquite smoked turkey from the deli. I don't even know if that stuff's good for her, but she likes it and he gives it to her. Okay, we're just going to keep on going because I think we're almost there. Now, I was doing one earlier when I ran out of thread, and I thought, oh, this isn't a bad look. And basically, and I'm going to try to make one of those too. It won't be in this video because I have to design it, but aha, we had just enough. Look at that. And a little bit extra because we didn't have all that extra bulk to go around. Anyway, where it just kind of was the top part, so I thought maybe if I just put something, you know, some kind of valley down below, or a hole if you want to feed it through with the needle, and it would look kind of tulipy maybe. Let's see, I don't need a big piece of this. Put that there. Okay, so I'm just taping this down. Cut off my excess, and I have a little bit of tape sticking out there that I can cut off. Careful not to cut your threads. Now you could always glue this if you prefer, but you're going to have to wait on glue to dry. Okay, so here we go. Oh, got a pop up on my screen here. Let me see. All right, there we go. Now, isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, let's find a flower that can go on. Let's try it on this one. So if we wanted to double it up a little bit. What do you think, guys? All right, let me know. I'm going to share this file. You know the drill. Go to the Facebook page to get the Designspace link. And I really would love to hear some feedback, see some of what you guys are working on the Facebook page. If you're having problems posting, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to adjust the settings. Otherwise, till next time, guys. I hope you have a happy, crafty day.